What's up, guys? It's Monaco here, and in this video we're going to talk about this exploration region. I also want to touch on the Pictologia cards, just real briefly. Alright, we'll get to the exploration region in just a second. Let's start off with the Pictologia cards. Guys, the Pictologia cards were released, and they basically came out at a price which I don't believe they're worth. And let me explain why. I had never really planned on summoning these anyways, but when they announced the price, it was pretty much a dead set. Not gonna summon. These are all fast learner cards. They are never going to be augmentable. There has been rumors flying around that that somehow these cards are going to become augmentable in the future. That's totally not true. As fast learner cards, they're never going to, I mean, it's just not going to happen. Okay? So, don't listen to that hype. Now, I will say this. If you're just now starting the game, there's a chance that these are just slightly worth. But, like, the fact of the matter is, these cards get replaced so fast that there's just no reason. I mean, there really isn't. Even Vivi with the Mana Font ability is that's a pretty nifty ability, but it's not anything that's really gonna be groundbreaking. Not enough to really summon it. Ray of Hope is a solid heal card, but honestly, going on into the future, this game is not going to be about heals, okay? This game is going to be about buffs. How many buffs can you stack on yourself and still maintain your hit points, okay? Instead of going through a ton of hit points, the bosses are going to be going through all of your buffs first and then your hit points. If that makes any sense, okay? So, that's one of the reasons why heals kind of drop off and they don't become as good, because the buff cards get so good in the future that you run those instead of heal cards. So, while Yuna right now is usable, she doesn't stay usable for very long. And then you have Garnet, of course, which is probably the best. I mean, if you're absolutely dead set that you want to get a pack, this is pack 3 is probably the one to get. Garnet has decent abilities and might even be able to be used in the tower. I mean, I don't know, but even Garnet is really seriously still not really worth it. 3,000 Magicite is a lot of Magicite to be spending on these cards, and I just don't feel like the cost is justified. So, that's the Pictology cards, guys. I wouldn't waste your Magicite on them. I know I'm not going to. If you really feel the itch and the need to do it, by all means, go right ahead. But these cards get replaced extremely fast. So, as a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure the next event is gonna replace them. And if I'm right, the next event is gonna be the Final Fantasy X event. So, yeah, just keep that in mind, guys. Now, as for the exploration area, I'll give you a brief overview. So basically, a lot of these areas are unlocked through defeating enemies. Some of the unlocks are unlocked by defeating enemies with different classes. There's a couple of those locks right here, and I think there's one right here as well. I haven't got over to this side, but I imagine it's the same for the left side as well. So you're going to want to kind of swap classes around a little bit, guys, just to be able to get your kill count up enough. I think this one right here was 50 kills. 50 kills and 50 kills for each class on the right side. And so it's not too terribly difficult to get. And I've been clearing most of this with my assassin, simply because he's a lot faster and the elements kind of line up properly, and stuff like that. There's also there's also locks. The major locks are unlocked through area clears. So you got to go through and you got to put check marks in all these areas, guys, and eventually you'll get to a point where you can unlock the major locks. Um, and another set of locks are unlocked through shade gems. And basically what shade gems are is you go through the areas, you kill mobs, you get shade gems. And then the area bosses, the idle heads, which is something else that I'm going to talk about here in just a second. But the idle heads drop 100 shade gems. So you do them, 10, 15 times, and you'll be able to unlock this last unlock. But anyways, so that's as far as augmentable materials are concerned, I haven't ran across anything new or groundbreaking in this. Most of this stuff is already stuff that you can get into the game. The only one that I have ran across that is quote unquote new is the Idlehead himself. So we can now farm molten cores, guys. It's a very nice thing to be able to do. Also, you can farm flame sword if you absolutely need to, because the Idlehead himself drops flame sword. So that's a very nice thing to have access to, guys. You're gonna have to kill this boss several times, and because you have to unlock all these locks. One thing I forgot to mention about the shade gem locks is that they are expirable. So what do I mean by that? When you go to unlock a shade gem lock, it does actually use the materials. So you're gonna have to do quite a few boss kills, guys. It's gonna be quite a lot, because a lot of these locks are 200, 300, 400 shade gems. So you're gonna need somewhere in the neighborhood of, like, I want to say 3,000 shade gems when it's all said and done, probably. So that means you're going to need about 30 to 40 boss kills, depending on how many shade gems drops off the boss. There's a boss kill that'll drop 75, and then a boss kill that'll drop 100. So again, just depending on how many drop from the boss. I'm pretty sure there's probably already people who have finished this by now. I spent a little bit of time on Odin last night before I came here. Odin is pretty tough, guys. Most of the reason why Odin is pretty tough is he hits a little bit harder than Shiva did, and he has haste. Plus, his elements kind of stack up weird, so he doesn't. He does a lot of damage to a lot of different classes. White Mage is one, and Assassin is another. The Magus doesn't have any resistances against him. There's a lot of classes that don't have access to wind resistance that get dealt a lot of damage by Odin, and as a result, you're gonna want to probably bring a defender if your setup is really relying on classes that don't have access to wind resist. He does do quite a bit of damage. You'll notice it in the fight. Now, that's not to say he's unbeatable, or that he's like super hard. He's more difficult than Shiva, but he's also beatable. So just kind of keep that in mind. I've seen a lot of people try to go the water strategy route trying to pump up Icy Brain and stuff. And honestly, like, we tried to do that last night and it didn't work. Icy Brain only does like 40k regular hits, and was like critting for maybe 50, 55k. It really, like, while it was a good source of damage, I really do feel like Earth is going to be much, much better to go. Once you get all the relevant buffs and debuffs and everything, it's definitely going to be a debuffing fight. Anyways, that's pretty much what I have for the new content, guys, at least for right now. That was just a quick overview of everything, and I'm going to have more details as far as Odin is concerned very soon. I'll do an Odin video for you guys pretty soon. So anyways, good luck with the El Dorado, guys. This is going to be a great place to farm, especially because of the skill seed bonuses and the Idlehead boss. So have fun with that, and I'll see you guys next video.